Countless people have conversations with others every single day, talking about anything from work to family to hobbies to music. But every now and then a threshold is crossed, and the conversation shifts to a subject that turns the room cold and the speaking tone hostile. Welcome to Taboo Topics, where I talk about why you don't talk about them. I can hear those pitchforks are raising already. I haven't even said anything on the subject yet, and I know, just from the title, there's gonna be people ready to pounce at my every word.
Wrong.
I can assure you I've picked my wording for all of these points very carefully, but I can also assure you that people who want to are still gonna take personal offense at what I'm saying. If you like being upset, then go for it, I guess. There are two conversation subjects in particular that are probably the worst of these taboo topics. Topics that people are very strongly advised to avoid if they want their friends to stay friends. Religion, Jesus, and politics. In all honesty, the reasoning for these topics being such landmines in any conversation are pretty similar, but I'll be separating them into two videos for the sake of not hitting you with information overload. The biggest handicap on discussing political and religious beliefs comes from us, the communicators. Simply put, most of us are fucking assholes who don't know how to disagree with each other in a civil way. Imagine you're sitting at your dinner table and someone mentions something about Donald Trump's now infamous grab him by the pussy clip being a misogynistic statement, and that it makes him unfit for presidency. Now, before I continue this point, I guarantee I've pissed off a few people just by using that as an example. I'm not even saying it is my opinion, I'm using it as a hypothetical scenario, but simply creating an example about Donald Trump in a negative light will almost definitely piss off people who support Donald Trump. It's amazing the amount of ass covering I have to do when talking about this, but now it's out of the way. Anyway, getting back on track, if someone were to say that that clip made him unfit for presidency and another disagreed, more than likely the debate would turn from civil to heated in about 4 exchanges or so. I've actually put together a template to illustrate how political discussions usually end up.
1.
First person states their opinion on a certain political topic, no matter how controversial. I realize my example given uses a very controversial opinion, but apparently now it could even be as simple as women should have the right to vote, and it'll get disagreed with. And quick aside, and this might be my only genuine political opinion in this entire video, but if you support hashtag repeal the 19th, you're fucking brain dead.
2.
Second person disagrees with the initial opinion. Offering a counterpoint or differing opinion is common but optional. This is where a lot of people trip up because the counterpoint is usually a dig at their opponent rather than a supportive statement for themselves, but we'll come back to that.
3.
First person spits back how second person is wrong and their view is the correct one. We've potentially entered the loudness territory.
4.
Second person gets angry, says the first person is wrong and that their view is the correct one. We are definitely in loudness territory now.
5.
Repeat steps 3 and 4, increasing the volume with each repetition. This little diagram illustrates almost every political conversation that I've seen, and according to numerous friends of mine, it is definitely not limited to just me. Luckily for me, I have a kind of get out of jail free card in that I'm a Canadian citizen living in the US, so I don't really have to care about politics because I have no effect on them. However, I still find the discussion of political beliefs to be pretty interesting when it's done right. It seldom is. On top of people being way too quick to get overly defensive of their opinions due to a simple disagreement, many people just don't know how to argue conflicting beliefs. Take a look at any of the presidential debates so far this year, especially the first two. With the exception of Trump droning on about ISIS, and Clinton droning on about visiting her website,
my website, HillaryClinton.com, HillaryClinton.com, HillaryClinton.com. I hope you will go to HillaryClinton.com.
Nearly all of the debate time was eaten by them attacking each other, and usually not even on their policies, just on their person.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Sometimes the attacks weren't even against one another, but against people close to them. Donald Trump hates women. Also, I am a woman, therefore I can't possibly be hurtful to people of the same gender.
Wrong. No, I don't. I love women. Where are those emails, Hillary? Your husband Bill fucked like 8 bimbos. Pretty sure he raped them too.
My opponent despises women. He also says negative things about minorities.
Wrong.
Did you hear what he said about Mexicans? He said 100% of them were rapists.
No, I didn't, Hillary.
Rapists.
No, I didn't. I said some of them are rapists. Speaking of rapists, Bill Clinton is your husband, and I think he may have done some rape.
This isn't limited to the debates either. Most of the time when people discuss supporting a candidate, the reasoning seems to be more along the lines of because the other one is worse rather than because this one is good. For instance, take Casey Neistat's recent video on who he's voting for president. The video on the surface is totally fine. It's titled accurately, he doesn't really talk about politics on his channel outside of it, and he clearly states who he's voting for president. In honesty, his video starts off pretty reasonable as well.
Hillary Clinton. I will be voting for Hillary Clinton.
So far so good.
I avoid talking politics on this channel, on this forum, because politics are divisive. There's always two sides. Republicans and Democrats. There's left and there's right. That is the nature of a healthy democracy.
However, very quickly after this, he goes all in against Donald Trump.
But this is not that. This is about a megalomaniac who's driven by nothing but ego. A man who cares exactly zero about the people of this country. That is the nature of a healthy democracy.
This is seemingly every political argument that ever occurs, and the comments just further prove that, as some support his claims against Trump and others challenge them by attacking Clinton. People really like to take someone else's opinion and flaunt it as their own, because thinking for yourself is really hard, and it requires actual time and information gathering and decision making. Like, you know, why go see a movie before saying if it's good or bad? No, that'd be ridiculous. No, just go read the Rotten Tomatoes score, and then just go with that opinion, and you'll start fitting in with all your friends who also hated Suicide Squad. Not to mention, everyone seems to believe that if you support a candidate, you agree with everything they've ever done, and nothing they say will ever be controversial to you. If you can't both agree and disagree with a political candidate depending on the circumstances, you are an empty vessel, and your opinion is bordering on worthless. Now, that's not to say that you can't fully agree with someone. Of course you can. But if someone you support presents an opinion that's contradictory to your own, and you don't stick by that opinion, that's indefensible, weak, and stupid. The fact of the matter is, politics is a balancing act. Obviously, you have to weigh your options. And this year, American folk get the privilege of deciding which one they want. The totally not near-death senator who has almost certainly deleted a shitload of incriminating emails and intentionally attempted to instigate violence against her wig-wearing competition supporters, or the inconsistently successful businessman who says very questionable things about both women and minorities and is incapable of going a day without saying the word China lest he break out in hives. I'm taking the piss out of both of these candidates because both of them, in their own ways, fucking suck. But even making fun of one of the candidates pretty much means you're a supporter of the other, apparently. Take a recent video from Super Deluxe, aptly titled, "Trump has a total meltdown at the first presidential debate." This video pretty gently makes fun of Trump's performance at the first debate, which I'd like to note he almost objectively lost, according to fucking everyone. Vic Berger's editing style focuses on repeating words in a ridiculous fashion.
Next 2-minute answer goes to you.
Did you ask me a question? Did you ask me a question?
And adding in air horns for comedic effect.
Country.
Wrong. Wrong.
Now, honestly, I found this video hilarious, but looking to the comments paints a painfully different picture.
These videos used to be the only good thing on this channel because they were raw, stupid humor and nothing more. Now they've become completely politicized like everything else on here, and I have no reason left to stay so.
Yeah, we're now at the point where making a joke video about Donald Trump, a man who has frankly been memed to shit for years upon years now,
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
means that your tongue is up Hillary Clinton's ass. Yeah, okay, sure. Or you know, Trump is just easier to make fun of. Baffling concept, really. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Perhaps even more confusing is that this is from the same channel that posted Hillary Clinton Meme Queen 2016, which was a fully produced, originally shot video making fun of how hard Clinton tries to keep up with modern trends. Half of the comments on this one are just asking if it's real, and
What's Trump's KD ratio? He hasn't even shared his gamer tag.
I'm not gonna waste any more time addressing that. But moving away from more sarcastic jabs at the candidates, both the candidates and their supporters take digs at each other constantly, and yet seldom share their own ideas and beliefs. Both of them have policies that people have barely heard about, and in many cases, their supporters haven't heard about it either. The first two presidential debates this year went almost exactly the same, with it taking until the third for us to get anything of substance. Clinton deleted email, Trump said grab him by the pussy. Clinton's husband raped people. Trump said Mexicans are rapists. Clinton laughed at helping a rapist get acquitted. There's a lot about rape. Trump didn't pay taxes or some shit, which I guess rapes the American dollar. It's all the same fucking trash. And if it's not that, their positives are, we're gonna make jobs and we're gonna lower taxes for those who need it, and minorities will have better jobs. Blah, blah, fucking blah. It's all fucking empty, and it's almost never backed by detailed plans of action or ideas on how to implement these grand promises because no one demands it. And this happens every single election, not even limited to the US. Empty promises are made because people can't be fucked to double check their plausibility, and it makes for easy votes from impressionable people. Don't be one of those people. On the opposite end of the spectrum, it is pretty difficult to expect someone to do a research paper's worth of work to discover which candidate they'd choose to side with in any election. Be it for your tiny hometown's mayoral election or the inevitable world ruler election that will likely begin in 2024 after Kanye West has cemented himself as the greatest world leader in human history. No one will ever know every single stance that a politician has taken or every single good and poor decision they've made. I mean, hell, doing so for Hillary Clinton alone would take the better part of a week simply due to the longevity of her career, and doing so for Donald Trump would take about 6 minutes of watching CNN because they won't shut the fuck up about it, but he is the exception, okay? He's not the rule. I hope you don't come away from this video thinking I'm saying, hey, this is who you should support and why. This is how you should support people. No, I don't give a shit about that. You can obviously support whoever you want, and that expands outside of the US. But the key to discussing politics in a civil, non-aggressive manner is pretty straightforward. Simply discuss your beliefs first before attacking your opponents. Your opinions need to be your own, a common theme that you'll find throughout this potential series. And please, for the benefit of everyone on the planet, and especially when it comes to politics, learn to take a fucking joke. First and foremost, I want to give a huge thank you to Skyfall, Deodor Anthony, Kieran Anderson, Icarus, Lingling124, Randy Dandy, Patrick McCarley, Bergeson, David Superner, Kanisu, Woods, Ben Hewlett, Doink Me Silly, and JMAA for being some of my earliest patrons. In case you haven't noticed, I have a Patreon now. If you want to support it, please feel free. If you don't, that's totally okay. I have some really good rewards, I think. If you don't agree, let me know what I can improve on maybe. Currently it's set up where it's only charging when I release a video, and it'll only be for the first video of the month. So if I do ever release more than one video in a month, you're not gonna get double charged. But if I don't release a video in a month, you won't get charged at all. On top of that, I have a couple people I really want to thank. This new outro was done by Squizzy. Make sure you go check her out on YouTube. I also have to thank Tedinator2K for helping me organize this whole thing and help me find the song for it, which is by Young Bae. Make sure you go follow Tedinator on Twitch. I'll leave links to all of this in the description, and make sure you also go listen to Young Bae because his music is excellent. Thank you for sticking with me. Sorry this video took so long. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments below. And I actually have a lot of ideas coming up, not just for this series, but for a few others and just for a few videos in general. Hopefully something comes out soon. I'm not gonna put any timelines or anything. It's just, it'll be out when it's out. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Bye-bye.